Greetings, everyone. It's Angelo Robles, and for those of you live, it is 8 o'clock Eastern Time on a Monday night. And I have a very busy week this week. I'll share some of my incredible guests, and they are incredible, upcoming at the end of my solo here. But I'm 1 week away from the opening of my reception, my program in Palm Beach. And I wanted to share when I go on stage and I have an opportunity to give an overview to set the tone for so many incredible speakers that I have next week in Palm Beach and be different than perhaps others that you hear in the family office world. So I put together segments, fragments, a better word, of a bit of an opening that I wanted to share with many of you. So, on that note, without further ado, sand that thinks. Why everything you know about wealth, work, and power is already wrong. Like I said, I'm 1 week away, if you're watching this live, from on Monday, March 16th, at least opening up my reception in Palm Beach, an exclusive gathering of incredible family offices from around the world. And like I said, I wanted to share a bit of a glimpse inside, not a polished recap that is coming. However, I wanted to share some of the actual thinking that goes into what I'm looking to open with from the stage. And then, like I said, segue into multiple days, not only of fun and cigars, of course, but incredible programming. This part of it I like to call, as I opened with, the sand that thinks. 4.5 billion years ago. What? That's how long it took the universe to make what I'm going to be talking about tonight and show and tell in Palm Beach. Really think about it. Sand, oil. Okay, that one you could challenge me a little bit on. Might have taken a little longer after that was created. Metals, sunshine. That's the raw ingredients for everything. Forged from dying stars, shaped by a universe with infinite patience and really no agenda. Out of all of it, nature produced one remarkable thing: a species that looked at sand and asked, well, what could this be? We purified it, etched circuits in it, stacked it into chips, and then, not in geological time, not in centuries, but our lifetime, that sand, well, kind of looked back at us. We made sand think about it. We made sand that thinks. For 4.5 billion years, intelligence had one substrate, one home. It's different. Now it feels like it has two. But this actually gets stranger. Last year, researchers at Cortical Labs suspended human brains in a dish, wired them to a screen, ran a signal through them. I'm not making this up. Those neurons, no skull, no body, no evolution, learned to play Pong. Not programmed, and no, not trained on data, learned. Intelligence isn't just escaping silicon, it's kind of escaping biology entirely. I could almost state the substrate doesn't matter anymore. The pattern is what's alive. It's not a tech story, it's a civilizational story. And almost nobody is running, to me, the thread, certainly not in the family office community. They're not running it out far enough. So what I kind of call the wrong question. Every year, some of you go to family office events. Every year at events, the conversation like almost feels to me that it starts the same way. What are the top funds doing? Where is smart money flowing? What's the consensus? What's lender versus IRS and variations of structures that we could create this year? I think to some degree, not that those don't have value, but they're kind of the wrong question. Best practices are by definition, I've been saying this for years, not to say that they don't have value, but limited value. Best practices are by definition backward looking. They are distilled lessons of a world that no longer exist. You follow them and you are at best, optimized for yesterday. The families who built generational wealth didn't ask, this is no surprise here, they didn't ask what everyone else is doing. They asked, what is actually true? And this boils down to something that I think family offices often lack. It's first principles thinking. Think through cause and effect. Think of second and third order consequences. Not what's the consensus, but is this true? Well, what else must be true? Because, like I stated, almost nobody is running that thread out far enough. I think in today's world, family offices, probably all of us, right? We have to think 3 moves ahead. Let me show you what I mean. A few weeks ago, and I share this in one of my February recaps on AI and family offices, an AI generated video CDAN circulated that most people initially believed because it looked so real, was filmed by a crew, photorealistic, emotionally coherent, and cinematically just lit. And it cost effectively like nothing to make. The first order take, interesting technology. The second order question, what happens to Hollywood? The third order question that nobody is asking yet, what happens to reality as a concept when synthetic media is indistinguishable from documentary evidence, and the cost of producing either, it drops to zero. Every industry built on credentialed storytelling, film, advertising, news, law, politics is about to be repriced, not disrupted. It seems to me, am I the wrong one here? Repriced effectively at the floor. Midjourney, that some of you are familiar with, the founder of Midjourney, I'm forgetting his name, pardon me, said something that I really haven't stopped thinking about. He stated, now I get it, not today, but is this 5 years, 10 years? That 5 million robots could build a Manhattan in 6 months, not decades, not years, 6 months. So, what does this do when energy drops to near zero, robotics bring labor to zero, to capitalism, but the asset class that stored multi-generational wealth for centuries is being, or will be, repriced. Cities built over hundreds of years could be replicated on demand. Real estate as scarcity. The entire thesis, if not yet, will be under assault. Now, I'd probably put it this way. We didn't just make sand that thinks. We're about to make sand that builds. Now, I'm going to go off on some tangents. You're getting just little clips of our overall thoughts and deep dives that we're going to be doing next week. Every job, both parties, no exceptions. Balaji Srinivasan, I always mess up his name. He's very smart. The crypto bros, you would know them, said something on a recent podcast that cuts deeper than anything or near anything I've heard this year. He's so good with words. AI takes white collar jobs. Robotics, his words, takes blue jobs, or if you want to say AI takes red jobs, think deeper into that, and robotics takes blue jobs. Every job, both parties, no exceptions. And oh, by the way, while both parties are figuring out their answer, New York State is seriously considering legislation to restrict AI LLM use across entire professional categories, lobbied for by professional guilds whose jobs that AI is effectively replacing. Think about what this actually means. Think deeper than just on the surface. The most deflationary technology, keywords there, the most deflationary technology in human history. The one that could give a single mother in New York access to the same legal, medical, and financial intelligence as a billionaire. And the response, of course, from Albany, my original home state, is to protect the incumbents who charge, maybe $800 an hour for it. Now, knowledge, of course, is power, and AI democratizes knowledge. And the people who built their careers gatekeeping that knowledge are now gatekeeping, what a surprise, that gate. This is regulatory capture in real time. Will it fail? You know who else tried to stop technology from replacing their jobs? I heard this one on a podcast. I'm going to assume it's true. Sorry for not having the credit to the podcast. I listened to a fair amount. The knocker-uppers, Victorian England, men and women paid to walk the streets at dawn, tapping on bedroom windows with long sticks to wake people up for work. When the alarm clock arrived, well, they lobbied for their survival too. Now, sure, we could laugh at it now. Actually, supposedly the last knocker-upper in England was as late as the 1970s. I don't get it. That's what I heard. We laugh at it now. In 20 years, we're going to laugh at this that I'm bringing to the table, that so much is changing. The only question that has ever really mattered for every civilizational inflection point is not whether the technology wins. In time, technology always wins. It's whether you adapted before or after it was too late. Now, we may be going into some sensitive subjects. That doesn't stop me. Not here to be politically correct, not here to host a forum. That's the same things you hear about in the family office world all the time. And some of them I love as well. But I don't have anything new to bring, no incredible speakers, no peers doing the amazing. What I want is that, and bringing that into my program. So I'm going to call this the geography of AI. Let me tell you what I'm opening with in Palm Beach that will make some people in the room, as I noted, uncomfortable. Everyone, and again, we cover geopolitics. Everyone is asking why America went back into the Middle East. Well, yes, I believe the answer is oil, but it needs a bit of a twist. It's effectively the race for energy and AI. And China cannot win without energy. Venezuela was a bit of a blow. We'll see what happens with Greenland and some of the things there. But this is huge. The Gulf holds 48% of the world's proven oil reserves. AI runs and needs a lot of energy, massive industrial scale, uninterrupted energy. China's path to AI supremacy, which basically means world supremacy, runs directly through Middle Eastern oil. Now, this gets a little deeper. Saudi Arabia committed what, 600 billion into the US economy and VCs and AI infrastructure. UAE committed hundreds of billions. And I think the total, when you add everything up, trillions of dollars in Gulf sovereign capital now sits inside often American VC AI organizations. The entire US AI ecosystem is partially capitalized by desert money. Again, the irony with sand, of course. The same desert that produced the oil powering the 20th century is now funding the data centers powering the 21st and much more. The sand, well, again, it's becoming intelligence. Energy becomes compute. If my perspective bring on different opinions, I don't want to get caught in an echo chamber. If America loses the Middle East, it doesn't just lose oil. It loses the capital funding of AI dominance. It loses the energy securing compute advantage. It loses the geographic choke point, keeping China constrained. The Strait of Hormuz don't think of it as being a shipping lane. How about this? It's the most important circuit board on the planet. Make no bones about it. The US and China are for sure in a Cold War. Trump is taking some very aggressive stances. Your decision, whether right or wrong, whether he's able to pull it off in relatively the time frame heading into the midterms, incredibly debatable. And all things we're going to love to talk about with varying opinions next week. Geopolitics and AI are not two sides or not two stories. Actually, there's simply one story. And it's the story that effectively explains everything happening in the world right now. Every market move, every political crisis, every capital fight, every war. Think back to wars in history. Are they over, well, gold, oil, energy? Oh, there's other factors. I do understand. We could talk about a country's debt, a rising young men in the country, age of the young men in the country, a variety of different factors. But at the end of the day, economics always play into it. Now, this explains why Dubai got hit by Iranian drones. It explains why a lone hacker with a chatbot subscription brought down a sovereign government's infrastructure. It explains why California is trying to confiscate billionaire wealth before they can move it out. It explains why Hollywood is in a free fall, and nobody on Wilshire Boulevard will say it out loud. It explains why the world's most sophisticated families should be aware of this, forming their own thesis, and making some major restructuring, major thinking, first principles thinking, cause and effect, second and third order consequences, rethinking their structures, their attitude, everything, because everything is changing. The mindset of the rising generation. They are changing their capital, their jurisdictions, their technology, their legacy. Now, what does this really mean for you? Here's what kind of first principles demands of all of us right now. Don't ask what the smartest allocators are doing. Ask why. And whether those reasons still hold in a world where every assumption underneath that strategy has shifted. Yet you think a lot of these people with big egos, arrogance, and fear of what's coming are going to shift and change that quickly? Some of them will. Most of them won't. The best practices of 2019 were built for a world where intelligence was scarce. Labor was the cost of production, and geography was the moat. Like, none of those things are true anymore or won't be soon. The most advanced AI in the world, this could give you hope. The most advanced AI in the world is only what? Since it got into our hands with ChatGPT 3 years ago, it's only 3 years. You can catch up. How much time are you willing to invest? I did hundreds of hours. to close that gap. Because the families who do will have an edge that compounds, and you're underestimating that. The ones who don't, they'll be steamrolled, or maybe only a little better managed by the ones that did. These are, and you got a brief snippet of what I have to craft into probably a 40-minute open with a lot more storytelling. What we're going to be talking about in Palm Beach: geopolitics, macroeconomics, investing, and underlying that, whether you like it or not, is AI. 50 plus families, 4 days, no filters, and no best practices theater. Just what is actually true. And what does that mean? And here's the key part. What does that mean 3 moves from now? I am not saying I have all the answers. I'm usually, may surprise some of you, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I do tend to question things. I'm curious, and I try to break things down, maybe because I'm not a hyper high IQ, into first principles thinking, and what I mentioned with cause and effect and second and third order consequences. It took me a long time to learn this. It doesn't always produce the results I want. When I'm playing poker, I think I'm pretty good. I don't win all the time. Other players are good too. There's luck and other factors that play into it. But did I read Andy Duke's great book, did I make the right decision in that moment? And do conditions change where I need to adapt? Of course. Again, I don't have all the answers. Me coming together, I'll be there a week, but over 4 days with incredibly successful, smart families and some of the leading thought leaders in the world. Many of you saw my interview with Dr. Alexander Wisnergross. He will be there over multiple days and on stage. Michael Sikorsky, an incredible entrepreneur and really, really good implementing AI. And so many others, including the CEO of one of the largest brand name, old guard, multi-decabillionaire families in the world, sharing everything, what he's doing with cash, how he got the position, how he manages the family, and how he's integrated AI, including sovereign AI. And he attended and met me for the first time last year in Palm Beach, where I was talking a lot about this. And he's one of the few, probably one of the 3 to 5% that actually did something with it. If I'm creating apps, if I'm doing drone swarms, if I'm doing AI agent swarms, if I could, you could. And accelerate that knowledge. Accelerate it. Now, my members get access to my proprietary content and my in-person immersive masterclasses with the world's greatest instructors. Not me. I'm a regular person who's using it and has had some success. But people who could articulate it into real life in family governance, structures, investing, everything. It is, the CEO of Google, going to be as big as fired electricity. It's going to be horizontal in everything. Whether you and I like it or not, it's a completely different story. So I threw a lot of different things at you there. And they were a little bit mismatched because I didn't have the time or the context to dive in. I mean, come on, it's like 8:30 now. I need to relax, have dinner, a nice drink, and enjoy my today a late night cigar. But in Palm Beach, we will have the time. And the right people are going to be in that room. And I promise it's not an echo chamber. There are people that are darn smart that probably disagree with everything that I said here. They may broadly agree with me directionally on AI, but they think my timelines may be way too soon. And we're going to have that argument. Effectively, our corporations, institutions, and governments, like we're seeing with New York, effectively going to kind of get in the way. And I get it. Look at Jack Dorsey's block and letting go of 40% of the employees. Look at the jobs numbers are going to get worse and worse. White collar people are going to be, at least initially, to a degree, the most impacted. Effectively, we all are. Do we all have to become entrepreneurs? We at least have to be people that understand the world is changing and be the person who's not necessarily replaced by AI, but we may be be replaced by a person who's using AI. This gives you the opportunity, no matter what you're in, investments, legal, accounting, the family office industry, or really any industry, to put in the time and effort. I get it. Our ego, ignorance, and fear, we're humans. It gets in the way of us all the time. Again, I've been pounding this drum a long time. I see them more right now than ever, and especially after February. Where do I start? Watch my recap that I did on that. Listen to my interview with Dr. Alexander Wisner Gross. And hopefully, if you're a family office and a member, be a part of what I'm doing in Palm Beach. Again, I know we do talk about things, geopolitics, that others in the family office world don't touch. I saw the agenda for other family office programs that have happened relatively recently and happening somewhat during the same time. Friends of mine, some parts of it are really cool. But on AI, they're so far behind. And they're not playing catch up at all. And on geopolitics, they keep their mouths shut. They don't think for themselves, form an opinion from that to articulate, and iron sharpens iron. I want the opposite perspective. I want people that have a totally different perspective so I can learn. I'm not looking to win an argument. I'm looking to have better information to make a proper decision to help secure my future, my family's future, and those that believe in my vision and pay to be a member and want unique proprietary content that adds value to them. I'm not looking to be right. I'm looking to win. Some comments, okay, probably a little bit above my pay grade there. Yeah, there's effectively some people broadly agreeing and some disagreeing. I'm surprised that more people are not bringing up the angle that I'm bringing up relative to Iran, the Middle East, Trump, and all that. Like, sure, is it ideology differences? Is it other factors? Of course, they play into it. The big one at the end of the day, it's about money. It's oil. It's oil and energy, and AI is going to be dominant. Getting to real AGI and ASI, and then just dominating energy, manufacturing, bioweaponry, everything is going to change. And it's going to happen in a relatively short amount of time. According to Alexander Wisner Gross, a really short amount of time. I just think that governments and institutions, corporations are going to make that harder. But what did I say earlier? Inevitably, over time, the tech always wins. We can make it here in the family office community. There is opportunity for you. I don't know about 15 or 20 years, but I know that right now is a time for you to enhance your skill set. Skills have utility, and a utility that you're providing to the family you represent, customers, whatever you want to call it, and your capability. One of my members who attended my masterclass on AI was him and his son. Said his son, who's maybe mid-20s, I'm going to guess, interviewing in the world of RIA and wealth management. And the fact, and no, not just attending my masterclass, but diving into AI when not really learning much about it in college, so relatively recent, in the last 6 to 8, 12 months at most for him, it's given a huge edge and tremendous opportunities in industries where employment's going down. I think this is obvious. Yeah, I may yell and scream a little bit about it. I hope you think that I come with a level of intellectual rigor, some level of thesis behind it, and I'm right about this. I'm just right about it. This is the opportunity for any of you, but especially if you're in the family office community, my wheelhouse. And again, I'm looking at the agendas of other programs, and they're having some great keynotes and speakers. Just where's the deeper dive into these issues happening now? When I listen to all the research, especially non-US families, it's geopolitics, geopolitics, geopolitics as the number one threat. And especially outside of the US, it probably should be. And that we're not talking about this, we're not having open, honest debates, a little bit of raising our voice and yelling, But again, not looking to win the argument, looking to get more knowledge to help make better decisions. So this absolutely all ties together. When I talk about geopolitics, macro, and investing, AI is, and it underlines all of it. And everything is changing so quickly. Well, on that note, next week, unless I do a couple of quick lives from Palm Beach, from my cell phone at the venue, we'll see. After this week, you're probably not going to see much of me for about a week or so. I may do a write-up. Those are maybe a little more convenient while I'm traveling. What's ahead this week? Wednesday of this week at 4 o'clock Eastern, I have the return of Dr. Craig Kaplan. He's one of the very few people that I know who's been an AI scientist since the 80s. Not only is articulate, but explains things so wonderfully. And, oh, by the way, a retired hedge fund manager too. So he combines being an AI scientist, fluidity on all the models, understanding everything about them. And we could also go hard on investing, especially in public companies. So that's a unique combo for about an hour and a half this Wednesday live at 4 o'clock. And then Thursday, I haven't done this subject in years, although I'm still active broadly in crypto, digital assets, etc. V. Swallis, World of Women, the work that she's doing in tokenization, in NFTs. You haven't heard me mention that in a long time. Very smart, very cool. It'll be very dynamic. That's this Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern. So those are two interviews for this week, both dynamic and unique. I hope you enjoy them. Then I'm off to Palm Beach. Again, maybe I'll do some quick lives or write-ups. Those of you that are members, I look forward to seeing you in Palm Beach next week. And if not, well, of course, you go to angelorobles.com and at least want to learn more. Then make your own decision. But if a fit, we'd love to have you. And maybe, this happens to me in other big programs that we do where we got incredible speakers. Sometimes people join effectively very last second. So, and again, in concluding, for those of you that are more classic and traditional in the family office world, I love those things too. I did a massive amount of work with my members and write-ups on structuring and architecture of family offices, of satellite international family offices, of domestic and international tax issues. We have David L'Esperance, probably the #1 sovereign strategist in the world for billionaires that I know, a Canadian who moved to Poland, now moved to Thailand, and is just incredible. Doesn't have land to sell you in these countries where he gets a commission. A real deep intellectual on sovereign issues that the world's billionaires go to. And of course, we're going to cover what's going on in Dubai. Like, he's going to be there at the program. We're going to have incredible architects of various structures of family offices, multiple families from Europe, discussions from families that sometimes go back 6 or 7 generations or more. We're going to talk about, not as much at my program, but over this year, I did my fair share on family governance and dynamics. Yeah, I probably tend to stick to my knitting, geopolitical, macroeconomics, investing, and obviously underlying a lot of that AI. And my members, I mean, come on, I did a 400-page book called A Family Office Playbook. That's 850 questions on systems and standard operating procedures. When I'm asked what I probably love most in the community, it's my passion for the incredible work of Peter Drucker, to a little bit lesser degree, Jim Collins, and practice management, systems, standard operating procedures in a family office. And the big three: people, systems, and technology. It's just that technology one is moving very, very quickly up the ranks. So you want to go classic and traditional on family offices? I am all down. I love that stuff. I'm just saying we've been hit with it over and over. There may not be a lot of new twist, but what's going on and the risk that we faced in geopolitics, understanding the macro picture, and AI and how that's coming for you. These are the things that we're not talking enough about in the community. And I know I'm out there in the front. Probably not as many of you are listening in the family office world from that perspective as I would like, but that's okay. Still love you. I'm your friend. You could reach out to me anytime. Some of you, I look forward to seeing you in Palm Beach next week. Go to angelorobles.com and learn more. Follow me across my socials. There was a couple of comments and questions. Yes, Charles, you're always like the best. I want to learn from you. And yeah, I mean, look what February brought upon us. But I did a video about that. And even this Perplexity computer is so good. But OpenClaw as a sovereign system and setting up our Mac Mini and giving it a card and creating an email and a credit card and letting it do all these things that scares me a little bit, but containing it, wow, it's like February was so incredible. So incredible. So again, I obviously have a little bit of passion for this. I'm really excited to be in Palm Beach next week. I hope to see some of you. Enjoy my 2 interviews with Dr. Craig Kaplan on AI and investing on Wednesday at 4 Eastern and 11 o'clock Eastern. Ooh, this She's V is very cool and very impressive. And that is going to be a conversation about tokenization. I'll even ask her a little bit about Bitcoin. And those do play into the future and AI. There is so much happening. Again, I'm a 60-year-old man. I'm old. I'm old school. I want to disappear into the mountains of Wyoming and never talk to anyone again. I just want to read books. I'm a nerd. I'm not really a people person. I wish I was. Just because I'm loud doesn't mean I'm a people person. But I can't ignore this that's happening. And I need to be a voice in the family office world. And I wish others would join me. We could collaborate and learn together. I'm just not seeing it. Lots of things to discuss in person next week. Hope you enjoy the programs this week. Reach out anytime. Thank you all for your time and have a wonderful and blessed evening.